Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. I don't know what the divine plan is. I can't make sense of what I can't see. But I know that it's in order beyond my wildest dreams. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. Serenity is not the absence of life going on around me. It's the stillness I find at any moment, and the truth that sets me free. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender. Into your hands, oh Lord. Into your hands, oh Lord. Into your hands, oh
Though I may not be here with you, I urge you to answer the highest calling of your heart and stand up for what you truly believe. In my life, I have done all I can to demonstrate the way of peace, the way of love and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring. When historians pick up their pens to write the story of the 21st century, let them say that it was your generation who laid down the heavy burdens of hate at last, and that peace finally triumphed over violence, aggression, and war. So I say to you, walk with the wind, brothers and sisters, and let the spirit of peace and the power of everlasting love be your guide. These are the final paragraphs from a posthumous essay written by the late Representative John Lewis, a powerful man who lived his life passionately, committed to love and peace and freedom. His words remind me that this is the essence of what we teach in New Thought. We teach listening and responding to the highest calling of the divine in our hearts. We teach peace as a fundamental aspect of the one life. We teach unconditional love as the excellent way to live the divine into our daily actions and words, and that freedom is the birthright of every child of God. This is our time, simply because we are here now. We are being called to open our eyes, step out of our comfort zones, shed our blind spots, and put our teachings into bold and compassionate action. We are spiritual beings, one and the same. Let us no longer give lip service to a world that is heaven on earth. Let us make it so. Will you close your eyes with me? Close your eyes to this world which would have us believe that we are separate beings, and turn your sight inwards to that space that would seem to be within us, but is truly the field that Rumi speaks of, that field that lies beyond right and wrong, that field of infinite possibility where even the phrase, each other, doesn't make sense. Know with me this morning that there is but one, and that one is infinite. We will never truly get our heads around all of that. It's infinite after all. But we can accept the knowing that we can have, that God is that infinite something, that circumference of which is nowhere, that center of which is everywhere. We can simply sit in the knowing that right where we are is the center of God. You are sitting at the center of God. Know with me that infinite cannot be divided. Think about that. How would you divide infinite? It's impossible. And therefore you cannot say God and I, or God and you. This is important to get down into the very marrow of your being, because once you know this to be unequivocally true, the doors of all that God is are thrown wide open to you. When you know that infinite cannot be divided and you cannot be separate from it, your heart overflows with that of which you are made out of, because there is nothing else to be made out of. And God begins to find a fuller expression through and as you. You become love. You become peace. You become wisdom. And you become those things in abundance. And it's not that you weren't already those things, but they now find full expression in, through, and as you. And so let us see with the eyes of love. Let us see with the eyes of peace. Let us see with eyes of wisdom. Let our words be imbued with that wise and peaceful love. Let our actions be imbued with that wise and peaceful love that is finding a fuller expression in us, even as you hear these words of prayer. And know with me that fear has no power here. That fear may show up as the yes, but, or the vague, shadowy doubt, the voice of scorn. Don't resist it if you're hearing it or feeling it. Resistance gives it validity. Resistance gives it a place, a pocket. Instead, soften to it. Stop creating space for it and allow it to dissolve. Fear has no power here. Let love fill the place where it appeared to be. Let the infinite intelligence that lives and expresses us turn us toward the light of life, the light of love, so that we now live from that place where the phrase, each other no longer makes sense. Let us live from that place of knowing that we are all equal in God, because that's the only thing that makes sense. God expresses as us, through us, in equal measure, because we are all at the center of God, because we are all truly one. And as we open our eyes and gaze once again at this world that appears to show us our separateness, let us not be seduced by what our physical eyes see, and instead let the truth of our oneness find expression in the manifest world by seeing God in each face, by caring for our planet with wise hands, and by walking with peace in every footstep we take. Let it be so, and so it is.
Into your hands I commit my spirit. Into your hands I commit my soul. Into your hands I surrender. Into your hands, oh You can look to the stars and search for the answers. Look for God and life on distant planets. Have your faith in the ever after, while each of us holds inside the map to the labyrinth. And heaven's here on earth. The spirit, the collective conscience. We create the pain and the suffering and the beauty in this world. Heaven's here on earth. In our faith in humankind, in our respect for what is earthly, in our unfaltering belief in peace and love and understanding. I've seen and met angels wearing the disguise of ordinary people leading ordinary lives, filled with love, compassion, forgiveness, and sacrifice. Heaven's in our hearts, in our faith in humankind, in our respect for what is earthly, in our unfaltering belief in peace and love and understanding. Look around, believe in what you see. The kingdom is at hand, the promised land is at your feet. We can and will become what we aspire to be. If heaven heavens in our hearts. And if we have faith in humankind and respect for what is earthly and an unfaltering belief that truth is divinity, and heaven's here on earth. I've seen spirits, I've met angels, touched creations, beautiful and wondrous. I've been places where I question all I think I know, but I believe this could be heaven. We are born inside the gates with the power to create life and to take it away. The world is our temple, the world is our church. Heaven's here on earth. And if we have faith in humankind and respect for what is earthly and an unfaltering belief in peace and love and understanding, this could be heaven here on earth.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Richard Loren Held. I am the spiritual director at Unity in Lynnwood. Always, 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 it is my privilege, it is my pleasure, it is my distinct honor to welcome you to Unity in Lynnwood. For those with children, please note that Youth and Family Ministries gatherings are commencing at this very moment as well. Credentials are available by contacting that program's director. Her name is Stacy Bailey. We invite you to take full advantage of the vehicles of support we have created for you. Of course, visit unityinlynnwood.org. You will be able to meet your leaders, read recent blogs, enjoy archived podcasts. You will even find yourself able to enlist prayer support, to download brochures. We invite you to engage with Unity in Lynnwood on the social media platforms of your choice. Download the Unity in Lynnwood app. It's free in both Android and Apple versions. In your chat window, you'll find a link. Click to enroll in Breeze. This service will enable you to receive text reminders and text notifications. That's convenient. Who can't use a little more convenience today? And as always, if you'd like to stay in touch through periodic email messages, usually about 2 a month, and no, we will never share or sell your information, simply click on the link also provided in your social media chat window. We will happily include you. Clicking is also a great way simply to confirm that we have your current information. And always, if we can assist you with any of the above, write or ring, we are happy to help. Practical spirituality, welcoming community. It is our mission statement. Admittedly short on word, we hold it, however, to be so very broad in content. Practical spirituality and welcoming community. Every week I like to support this mission statement with one of the bullet points, one of the value statements, which we developed in conversation with your board of trustees beginning in late 2014. So take a deep breath for this week's statement. It is the fifth of the six, and it reads as follows: we actively seek and enthusiastically include truths from all great spiritual traditions. You good with that? I know I am. So when the rabbi was asked by his students how to pray, he offered, among others, a powerful thought. Now, it's a thought that I find comforting. I hope you do as well. Now, for me to call him the rabbi is, first of all, on purpose. It's on purpose because far too many have wielded Christianity as a weapon against people of other faith traditions, Jews being among their long-standing targets. Far too many have wielded Christianity as a weapon against Jews, even when Christianity's central avatar was an observant Jew teaching the tenets of the Jewish faith. So it's really quite absurd on at least a couple of levels. It's nonsensical to wield Christianity as a weapon against one's history, and it's hypocritical to wield Christianity as a weapon against one's neighbor. So for me to call him the rabbi is for me to say, stop being absurd. In fact, I might go so far as to say that if you want to be a good Christian, start by finding a good rabbi. Now I digress. So when the rabbi was asked by his students how to pray, he offered, among others, a powerful thought. Give us this day our daily bread. Now I imagine that somewhere in the neighborhood of 100% of those watching this stream would admit to an experience of this great line as something of a request. Rabbi, teach us how to pray, the students asked, and we imagine the rabbi to have answered, well, dear God, somewhere out there, send us what we need. The line just as easily could have come from Oliver, the musical. Please, sir, if you could just see your way to dusting a few crumbs over the edge of your cosmic table, that I might eke out a few more hours of mediocre living. But contrary to the messages you received in Sunday school, and contrary to the centuries of questionable and interpretation and mindless regurgitation that sourced those messages you received in Sunday school, I don't think Jesus was teaching his students to beseech some distant entity for meager morsels that they might eke out a few more hours of mediocre living. I don't think Jesus was teaching his students to beseech whatsoever. In fact, I don't think Jesus' great line was even a request. Rather, in keeping with what he always seemed to be doing, I think Jesus was teaching his students how life works. And by the privilege of some extension, I think Jesus was teaching each of us how life works as well. And as a reminder, the great line begins, give. Give. And while we like to think of this in human terms, that would reduce God to something of a Santa Claus, something of a giant vending machine in the sky, I think Jesus was suggesting that there is something that's ever unfolding of itself. Give. Give, it begins. There is something that's ever expressing of itself. There's something that's ever emanating of itself. There's something that's ever individuating of itself. Give. And the great line goes on to say, give us. And the great line goes on to say, give us, because this something that's ever unfolding of itself cannot not unfold itself through its creation. So you are a point of awareness within this unfolding, and so am I, and so is all of life. And while Western religiosity likes to feign a pious humility in our exemption from this truth, we're not exempt. This something that's ever unfolding of itself cannot not unfold itself through its creation, and neither can its creation exist outside of its unfolding. I think this awareness is what the human is seeking to articulate when we say, I am a child of God. And how important is it that the great line doesn't go on to say, give us Christians or give us Catholics. The great line doesn't go on to say, and you can fill in the blank here, give us straights, give us Republicans, give us white people, give us wealthy people, give us modern people, give us pious and perfect souls who have never made a mistake. The great line is one of the great inclusion lines, you understand. It's one of the great equality lines because it goes on to say, without any additional qualification, give us. Us. This something that's ever unfolding of itself cannot not unfold itself through its creation, and neither can its creation exist outside of its unfolding. So yes, dear friends, this includes you. And yes, dear friends, this includes everyone else. You really are quite limitless, and so is everyone else. You really are quite divine, and so is everyone else. You really are light, and so is everyone else. You really are life unfolding itself through its creation, and so is everyone else. We're all made of the same stuff. You see, that God has favorites. He's a product of human psychology, not eternal truth. Ultimately, this expanding awareness becomes the basis for compassion in our world. And now give us this day. Human beings don't like this one. We don't like this idea. We want this something that's ever unfolding of itself to give us tomorrow. We are wildly comforted by the illusion that we have tomorrow handled. We review our financial projections. We study our manicured plans. We relax in our predictable formulas. We are wildly comforted by the illusion that we have tomorrow handled. And could there be a better time for me to put on my 10-gallon Dr. Phil hat and say, well, how's that working for you? When you kissed so-and-so at the drop of that 2020 ball and toasted in the new year, I imagine it's safe to conclude that you didn't foresee that how you shop was about to change, that how you work was about to change, that how you travel was about to change, that how you think was about to change. I imagine it's safe to conclude that you didn't foresee that blowing out birthday cake candles was about to become a faux pas on par with tissue-free nose blowing. We want this something that's ever unfolding of itself to give us tomorrow's resources. We want this something that's ever unfolding of itself to give us tomorrow's wisdom. We want this something that's ever unfolding of itself to give us tomorrow's satisfactions. And not only does tomorrow have some plans of its own, in all of our egoic wanting, we all too often forego the resources, the wisdom, the satisfactions, the daily bread, if you will, that await our availability and welcome this day. It was the children of Israel wandering in the desert for 40 years who were given their daily sustenance, but because they tried to store it up, it spoiled. Now, I don't know about you, but I have moments of feeling overwhelmed by these wild and wacky days. There it is. From the dynamic conversations about systemic racism, to the widening chasm of political divide, to the sweeping fear of a global pandemic, to the up close and personal demands of administrating a nonprofit organization, I have moments of feeling overwhelmed. And because I talk to so many of you, what I know is that I'm not alone. Not only can I relate to wanting that something that's ever unfolding of itself to give me tomorrow's resources, tomorrow's wisdom, tomorrow's satisfactions, I've imagined you to want this of me as well. Don't you just love it when other people put their stuff on you? Yeah, me either. And yet, when I opened this conversation by saying that the rabbi offered, among others, a powerful thought that I find comforting, it's that I don't have to have all of the answers. I can return to this place, and I can return to this moment, where that which is ever unfolding itself through its creation awaits my availability with its daily bread. I can return to this place and to this moment where God awaits my availability with its what's next. I don't have to have all of the answers. But what's next? That I can do. That I can do. I think Jesus was teaching us how life works. Life gives us this day our daily bread. Life gives me this day my daily bread. There's an affirmation for you right there. Life gives me this day my daily bread. I can free myself from any paralyzing clamoring for the illusion of tomorrow's guarantees. I can pray. Oh, great truth. Oh, great truth. In my longing to be something of a light amidst shadow, I simply ask, what's next? Show me what's next. My longing to be something of a peace amidst discontent, I simply ask, what's next? My longing to be something of a sufficiency amidst lack, I simply ask, what's next? Show me. My longing to be something of a unity amidst discord, I simply ask, what's next? Oh, great truth. In my longing to be something of possibility amidst limitation, something of a hope amidst despair, something of an evolution amidst stuckness, I simply ask, what's next? May I see what's next? All the clamoring for control over tomorrow. Whew. But what's next? What's next? That I can do. That I can do. That I can do.
This is your backyard, the Puget Sound. Orcas and the Coast Salish people have lived together in this place for generations. It is a place revered as the window to the world, for this Salish Sea is connected to the Pacific Ocean, the one world ocean. These waters are powerful. These waters are our provider. They provide us the oxygen for every other breath we take. They provide us with food, with livelihood, recreation, and an amazing abundance of life. The ocean is our life support system. Perhaps because the ocean seems so vast and endless, we did not realize it was so fragile. But the assaults from carbon dioxide, runoff, overfishing, and plastics have taken a toll. By 2050, scientists predict 90% of all marine mammals will have consumed plastic. By 2050, there will be more plastic in the oceans than fish. The ocean is composed of complex interconnected systems. Damage one part, and other areas suffer. Here in the Puget Sound, the number of threatened and endangered species doubled in a span of 3 years. Our Chinook salmon populations are down 60%. Our beloved orca are now just 75 in number. The spirit of our Salish Sea is fading. A Native American proverb says, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children." How much do we intend to borrow? How much is too much? It is not too late. We at the Seattle Aquarium believe there is nothing we are looking at that doesn't have a solution. Through research, field conservation, science, public policy, community engagement, sustainability, and animal welfare programs, we are striving for a world that embraces an ocean ethic. A world in which sustainable seafood, alternatives to single-use plastics, climate-resilient communities, and respect for marine ecosystems are the norm and not the exception. Expanding our geographic scope of research to the Coral Triangle has enabled us to tell the story of our Puget Sound in a global context. With these diverse partnerships, we are striving to find mutually beneficial and innovative solutions against the effects of climate change. The current rate of resource consumption is unsustainable. We're working to balance ocean health and human needs without compromising the future of either. By advancing work with policymakers and connecting with nearly 1 million visitors each year, we will find shared values that inspire conservation actions. Our littlest visitors will become our conservation ambassadors of the future. Climate resilience, sustainable seas, and clean waters. This is our vision for the future. A future in which ocean and coastal communities survive and thrive. It is not too late for our orcas and for us. Let's return what we have borrowed from our children and their children's children. You have the power to shape this story. Join us, for we are one world, one ocean, and together we can change the future.
Good morning. Today, Nina and I, your gala co-chairs, are proclaiming the month of August to be Gala Month at Unity in Lynnwood. What a wonderful, challenging, creative message this has been, planning the benefit gala. Kind of like wandering down the yellow brick road through the land of Oz. However, like Dorothy, we are finding our way to There's No Place Like Home on Saturday, October 24th. And many, many blessings to our three sponsors, Julie Newman, Mill Creek Family Services, and John and Barbara Thorpe. As we redesign this event using our spiritual teachings of oneness and prosperity, we selected and contacted 5 businesses who have consistently and generously given to our Unity in Lynnwood's auction over recent years. Businesses which are now struggling financially due to circumstances to join our gala as honored guests. As part of Unity in Lynnwood's tithing practices, each business will be a recipient of a financial gift at evening end. Even if they are not able to attend and send a representative, their financial gift will be mailed to them. And today, I am so honored and delighted to announce the first of our 5 beneficiaries, the Seattle Aquarium. The Seattle Aquarium is our region's largest marine conservation organization, connecting with more than 800,000 people each year to the wonder and the beauty of our ocean. By educating and inspiring our community, conducting vital scientific research, and shaping public policy, the aquarium is building the movement necessary to protect our shared marine environment. And out of a total of 96 seats available for our gala, 50% have already sold. We even have alternate plans for seating, depending on circumstances. If we can only allow to have 50 in a room, we will use 2 rooms. We may possibly arrange the chairs differently and have assigned seating, wearing a mask, and everything to keep us safe. So even though costumes are not required to attend this gala, please feel free to put on your red shoes, your blue check shirt, or maybe a tin or a straw hat, and start walking the yellow brick road by reserving your seat. Registration is easy. Just go on unityinlynnwoods.org, click on the calendar page for October 24th. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. What a powerful message, Dr. Richard. Thank you so much. And I'm so excited about our gala, and no, I will not be wearing high heel red shoes. Now we've come to the time in our service where we have the opportunity to give back to our spiritual community so that it can continue to fully express as the divine idea that it is, so that Unity in Lynnwood can continue to be a force for good in this world. In this time of virtual community, let us join our hearts and minds together and bless our individual offerings right where we are, knowing that we are one. And then while Matthew enfolds us with the high vibrations of song and sound, you will have time to access the text to give or online donation option that will be posted for you in your Facebook or YouTube chat box. So if you would, go ahead and take your offering. And if it's a check, go ahead and hold that in your hands. And if it's an amount that you intend to give virtually, just hold the intention of that in your hands, knowing that both are simply symbols of abundance. Charles Fillmore wrote, "Be still and turn within to the great source. See with the eye of faith that the whole world is filled with substance. See it falling all about you as snow, flakes of gold and silver, and affirm with assurance, I am now raised to the consciousness of an omnipresent, all-providing God substance. Know that abundance is your nature. Know that through the sharing of your abundance of love, of wisdom, of life, of plenty itself, you are, and thus we all are, a blessing in this world. And so it is."
All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. In sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. In sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. In sweet surrender, in sweet surrender.
Thank you for being with us today. Thanks to those who make it possible. We run with a scant crew. It includes, of course, Matthew, Jonesy, and Scotty. It includes Nathan and Cameron, the Reverend Nina Clark. It includes Michelle and Nadine. It includes, for today, Karen Breen-James, your social media host. I'm not certain who it is today. Who's the social media host today? Laura St. Germain. Does she not provide welcome? Whew. We're deeply committed to continuing to bring dynamic music and conversations to you every Sunday morning. To that end, it delights me. Next week, oh my goodness, next week we have special guest Neil Donald Walsh joining us via Zoom. If you're not familiar with his work, by all means, avail yourself to the deep wisdom that is Neil Donald Walsh. Followed on the 16th by Mark Anthony Lord. Again, please check him out. This is a leading voice in our movement. These are great opportunities to invite some friends. UIL Social Group hosts what we call Zoom Stew. It's next Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. Register by visiting the calendar page at unityinlynnwood.org. All are welcome. You provide the food. We're not delivering food. Spiritual Awakenings. It's our midweek service hosted by Reverend Nina Clark. The next is scheduled for August 12th, 7 o'clock p.m. That's followed by our Saturday service, Spiritual Saturdays, with Rabbi Ted Falcon on the 15th at 11 o'clock a.m. And again, all are welcome. Those events are streamed. There are spots available for our annual men's retreat. This is scheduled for September 4 through 6 at Camp Houston. Oh, a few days in the mountains. Doesn't that sound nice? Doesn't that sound nice? They offer these words: explore who we are below the many roles we play and the masks we wear. Now, see, I just think that's kind of funny. Below the masks we wear. There are even fewer spots remaining for our annual women's retreat that's scheduled for September 25 and 26. This is facilitated by Ricky Byers. Again, register by clicking or by finding the events on the calendar page at unityinlynnwood.org. We will launch a book study and practicum drawn from the book entitled White Fragility. This program will run 6 weeks. It will be held on Sunday afternoons, 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. We already have significant national interest. If you, as a member of our Unity in Lynnwood attending audience, if you desire to be alerted to the registration information when it comes available, please click or call. We would love to chat with you. If you would like a care call from me, from Reverend Nina Clark, from our Director of Prayer Ministries, or from one of our chaplains, give us a jingle. And simply say you would be willing to give us the privilege of a care call. We want to stay connected, and we encourage you to stay connected with each other. Please consider sending an email, picking up a phone. We do not cease being community simply because we cease being within these walls. Let's close our eyes together, and let's close as we do with another moment of prayer, another moment of decision, another moment of reorientation, a moment of remembering, a moment of elevating. And let's follow the breath, imagining it to open the very hearts of us, to open the very minds of us, to soften the very physicality of us, that we might come into a seeingness of higher truths than those which can be perceived by the sensory eyes of us. Let's imagine the breath to soften the very physicality of us, that we might come into a remembering then of all we know God to be. Not a distant, gendered deity, but a presence that lives in and through all of us, ever giving of its nature to each of us, ever imparting its gifts of life, its gifts of harmony, its gifts of sufficiency, and always, always, always its gifts of wisdom. And so we entertain these truths, making them welcome at the very heart of us. Issuing them warm receptivity. What a gift it is to remember, and what a gift it is to remember together. And as we prepare to close with sung words of blessing, as we prepare to reopen these physical eyes of ours, we do not abandon this remembering. We do not abandon this orientation, but we bring it forth. We allow it to be the way we be. So when you're ready, allow those human eyes to reopen. And we close as we always do.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within